Hungary's parliament has overwhelmingly approved Sweden's bid to join NATO, clearing the final hurdle for the Nordic nations' accession to the alliance after nearly 2 years of intense negotiations.
헝가리 의회가 스웨덴의 나토 가입에 압도적인 찬성표를 던지면서 거의 2년에 걸친 치열한 협상 끝에 스웨덴이 나토 가입을 위한 마지막 관문을 통과했습니다. A lot of people were curious to know whether or not Sweden would be able to be able to get into NATO.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is finally happening.
Yeah, right. So what's happened at the Hungarian parliament is that they overwhelmingly approved Sweden's bid to join NATO. And of course, this deals a geopolitical blow to Russian President Vladimir Putin. And we use the term overwhelming because of the 194 members of parliament in Hungary who voted, just 6 rejected Sweden's accession. Yeah. So getting approval from the Hungarian parliament was the final hurdle, as we mentioned, for Sweden to join NATO. And I think before this vote happened, the Swedish prime minister visited Hungary's capital Budapest to discuss, various aspects, maybe including this, but also defense and security cooperation with his Hungarian counterpart. And the two sides appeared to reconcile, agreeing on a deal that would see Hungary acquire 4 new Swedish-made fighter jets. So the Prime Minister of Sweden noted how Russia's ambitions to limit NATO's expansion has backfired, saying Sweden is leaving behind 200 years of neutrality and non-alignment, and they will now become a part or a member of NATO.
네. neutrality라는 단어가 중립성이라는 것이죠. 그래서 중립국, 그 중립성을 유지하던 스웨덴도 이제는 이제 나토 가입을 할 수 있게 됐습니다. 그동안에 헝가리가 계속 반대를 해서 어려웠었는데 이번에 194표 중에 반대표가 6표밖에 나오지 않았을 정도로 거의 다 찬성을 했다는 거죠. 압도적으로 뭔가 할 때 영어로 뭐라 그러죠?
So we use the word overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So when something is overwhelming or overwhelmingly something, it means it was done with a great majority. As we saw in the vote, when you have 194 people and only 6 people vote for something else, then that is definitely the overwhelming majority. So it means to a very great degree or with a great majority, or you can also use mostly, extremely, or strongly.
There you go. 압도적으로. 자, 그다음에 치열한 협상이란 뜻으로.
Right. Intense negotiation. So having a negotiation is basically a discussion that's aimed at reaching some sort of agreement. But when you have intense negotiations, it means, having like a heated negotiation, or intense means having or showing great strength. It could be strong feeling, or it could also mean there's a bit of tension going on there.
Indeed. 여기서는 그 치열하다라는 의미로 썼고요. negotiations가 협상이죠. 치열한 협상, intense negotiations. Here's the headline again. Hungary's parliament has overwhelmingly approved Sweden's bid to join NATO, clearing the final hurdle for the Nordic nations' accession to the alliance after nearly 2 years of intense negotiations.